watching the Marlene Cox Show. Finally, a show for models about models.
Well, welcome back. Welcome. Hey, this is June. We're already into June for the summer. We came out of May. So welcome to the Merlin Cox Show, and make sure as we get started today that you start to share with your friends and like the show, and make sure you contact us on all of our networks. Go to our YouTube channel, the Marlene Cox Show, and subscribe, and continue to subscribe. We're going to have a lot of exciting surprises and fun from our YouTube channel. So anyway, guys, welcome to the Marlene Cox Show. This is June, and we're going to be celebrating fashion and lifestyle for dads, grads, and weddings. So before we get into the whole goods of our topic, I just want to say a little inspiration for dads. For fathers and grandfathers and fathers who are caregivers, who take on that role as father in their life. So I wanted to, this little inspiration said, what is one sentence for fathers that says love? And there's many, but any man can be a father, but it takes someone special to be a dad. A father love is like no other. Guess what? It's unconditional, it's strong, and is everlasting. Dad, you are the rock of our family, and we are grateful for your unwavering support. A father's smile can light up the darkest corners of a child's heart. And that's what we say, that is Father. We're going to be celebrating throughout the whole month of June fashion and fathers and males, the whole fashion thing. So let's get on with our show today, celebrating fashion and lifestyle for dads and grads and weddings. And guess what? This is part one. And it's that time of year, guys, where we are busy planning for weddings, graduations, celebrating dads, and going on vacation. As we go about planning for all of the above, we have to keep in mind that fashion matters. So today, because Father Day is just around the corner, our show is going to remind us that men's fashion, even in these times, is something that we are paying attention to during weddings, what other time, graduations, vacations. So join us today to men's as we navigate for men's fashion in the real world. So we're going to go ahead and get started on this today, and we're going to bring in Miss Valencia, and we're going to go ahead and get started on our topic today. And so welcome everyone. Make sure you share with all your friends, share with everyone that you know about the show. So Valencia, come on in, and we're going to go ahead and get started. How you doing, Valencia? How's it going?
Great.
Are you excited about getting into the fathers and celebrating everything that goes along with the month of June that it does for dads? So we're going to go ahead and get started today. And Valencia, get us started on what some of the things we're going to put in our content as we celebrate all these wonderful things from weddings to graduation and dads as it relates to the fashion.
So we're mostly going to be talking about men's fashion this episode. And traditionally, when we think of fashion, a lot of attention is given to women and very little to men. For example, when we discuss weddings, the focus is on the bride, the bride's court, and the setting. Same occurs with graduations, where we spotlight young women as the brightest rising stars at the expense of the accomplishments of young men. Although women are the face of all the runways around the world, the truth may surprise you that men's fashion is quite significant around the world. So now I'm going to be talking to you about highlights from New York Fashion Week, Milan Fashion Week, and Paris Fashion Week in regards to the men's fashion. So for New York Fashion Week, the highlights were the protective fashion pieces such as bulletproof vests and helmets, sheer shirts, and practical fashion consisted of functional and versatile pieces that can be mixed and matched for every wear. There were also structured tailoring featuring suits, blazers, and overcoats with broad and sharp shoulders, wide lapels, and fairly cinched waist. And Also, neckties were coming back on the runway, and these were several of these themes were on Milan and Paris Fashion Week. So for
So for New York, let's go back a little bit on New York. You really got my curiosity. And that's one of the things I like about the show. We don't just talk fashion and runway and all of that. We try to bring it into the lives of the people that's relating to it, which are going to be men throughout this month. But you said something about bulletproof breaths in New York. That was a breath, what was that all about in the helmets and all of that? Is that a social theme, or is just where the designers in New York thought they were going to go with that feeling? What is that all about?
So the theme was protective fashion, as that's what some designers had on the runway. So protective meaning protecting you from the bullets. So that's why they had the bulletproof vest and the helmets. Like army with the helmets and everything like that.
Wow!
So that's part of that.
Wow.
Incorporating that into fashion. And it didn't look like a traditional bulletproof vest from what I've seen. It was more, it looked like the vest was like all the way down. It was black, and it looked fashionable. I can't even explain. It looked fashionable, like regular bulletproof vest, like wear. It looked fashionable, made it look fashionable.
Yeah, so okay, it's almost like when they did the military look. They weren't military uniforms, but they gave that flair to it. So that was really interesting in New York. And you were getting ready to tell us about Milan. It was similar. What's going on? You said Milan was similar.
Yeah. So Milan also featured structured silhouettes, oversized coats, and boxy blazers. And this trend re-envisioned classic tailoring by adding modern and bold fashions, such as there also were rich jewel tones and moody neutrals seen on suits and jackets. Also layered textures and fabrics, featuring plush velvets, faux fur, and metallics, which combined to enhance the depth and the focus to the collections. So that's what was going on.
Okay, but let's talk a little bit about that. That's interesting because you said bold colors, the emerald colors, the bold teals, the bold blues. I mean, we're really okay, men. You keep saying we're forgetting about you in the fashion world. We're not just giving you the black suit and the navy blue suit. So now men are really. So how are they doing that in shirts and suits and shorts? Any way they want to combine that is not just formal. It could be every day or what? How are they doing that every day, bringing in those bold colors for men?
Oversized coats the Milan was in January, so they're featuring things focused for the cold weather and things like that. So that suits on, jackets, long jackets, coats in different colors, things of that nature.
Yeah, and okay, so those were the things that they had in Milan, and one of the things that I was we talk about fashion, and I look at men, and I go through this a lot, Mr. Cox, and a lot of the males in my family, and they always say, "Oh, the men just have a little corner over the store. Look at the whole department store is for the ladies." So this is really good that they're bringing this back in. I was looking at how they're already in June this year. Doing the fall collection for men. So they're already working on the fall collection in June. That's brought some depth to the whole industry, because it used to be, we wouldn't see them really bringing depth until August. And then what does August mean? Well, August means the fall fashion. So with all those rich colors that you're talking about, I can't wait to see some of those colors. You remember a past show we did when we were talking about graduations and the tuxedos, how some of the young men had the jewel tone suit jackets opposed to all of that. So let the guys know that the fashion world is letting them in more into the movement of fashion than the blue and black suit. So I thought that was really so,
and
yeah.
Fashion Week on the runway was more so everyday wearable clothing. They had wool tailoring, nylon underpinnings. They reinvigorated tailoring such as contemporary tailoring, featuring cinch blazers again. The cinch blazers is
Mm,
the theme scene of New
wow.
York fashion and the and neckties coming back again as in the New York Fashion Week as well. The neckties,
The New York
but not just
Fashion Week. Uh-huh.
regular neckties. They also had the bolo neckties with the Western theme as well. So that was
Ooh, let's hold up on that Western theme for a minute. Let's hold up on that Western theme for a minute. I'm intrigued. I was just listening, and I cannot remember the gentleman's name. He just wrote a book, Afro American, who's been doing Western music for years. I'm so remiss. I'll bring it back next week and talk about him and that whole Western thing. The whole. And Beyonce, she helped us along with getting back to the whole Western thing. So it's more than just the boots, right? They're doing more than the cowboy boots. They're doing those in their ties and maybe shirts and things like that this time with the Western look.
Mm-hmm. So this was more so the neckties, the bolo neckties. Yeah.
Okay.
And that
so it's giving
ties as well.
Oh, okay, guys, they're going for it. So that's really good. That the way that the fashion is going and has gone in those areas for men. I'm excited about it. I'm excited about the colors because I love colors. And to see, and I'm just thinking about a guy, casual or midday going out to dinner, taking his lady to this fabulous restaurant, and he has on these nice colors. And I just love it when guys don't wear socks and they have on those nice. Did you say something about the shoes? What type of shoes that they were going to be wearing? More of a loafer type or type of shoe? Did they mention any type of shoes that the guys are going to be wearing other than the traditional shoe that the guys were going to wear?
I didn't see much about shoes. Mm-hmm.
So they're probably going to keep them to where they are. So I can just see that. Can you imagine your date taking you into the restaurant? He picks you up and he's in this fabulous, what's one of your favorite colors? The blues or greens? Blue? Yeah, a nice bold shade of blue. And I can just imagine a nice little white shirt or whatever color they want with no tie on. And just, I can imagine that taking them away from the boringness of color. So that's amazing that New York, Milan, and Paris has set the tone, because I know through the years when you would see those with the big shows, I'm talking about the main shows that when you would go up there, you would see a few men, but they would be at the end of the show with only a few different designers. And it would be basically the regular thing. You might see some pockets on the side or something like that, but the colors were still the traditional colors. So that's good that men, are you listening? Ladies, tell your men they need to listen at this show. We're telling them what they're going to be doing, going through this part of their life. So, one of the things that I was looking at, is there anything else you want to add to that before we go on?
Go right on ahead.
Okay, I think that, but Valencia, that was amazing. I mean, that was amazing. The information that was given there for the men, and one of the things that was really exciting to me when we talked about the world's become smaller in a half a century. We talked about because the world has become smaller. And a half a century ago, custom and tradition, Eastern culture, which is a male centric. That's where you used to see the traditional, the boring, the male centered have become a major market in our Western culture. Because if you look at you go over to any of the Indian countries and things, you saw the men that wear them satins and those long type of tunics and with nice pants, and even parts of Africa. But now we're incorporating that over here in our culture, which I thought was really good. And some of the designers, the things that men are doing with the culture and the impact that that's making on men's fashion, that they can mix and match too. I like that. You get your basic pieces. And I'm really excited to see this vest that they had in New York. I bet that's going to be fun. And I'm even noticing the oversized jackets. And you talk about most of that was done in fall, but just think about when you go to the beach, the oversized suit jacket. You might want to take one of those down to the beach with you at night because, the temperature, we don't never know what the temperature is going to be anymore. It'll be a little cool. So I can just see that. I just can see that being a really great place for men to go into. And we wanted to talk a little bit on this segment, but I think it's about another minute. Before I go into that, we're going to get ready to go out to our commercial. So we're going to hold off before I start talking about where are men going now? Where are men going? Where are they going? What is comfortable for them? What are some of the famous designers and actors and entertainments? And where are men shopping? So before we talk about that, it's about that time that we're going to get ready. Valencia, already. That time, 15 minutes into the show, and you gave a world of information that is so just great that now we're going to go into our first commercial. And then when we come back, we're going to start talking about not just men going to the tailors to get their clothes. We're going to talk about other things that men are doing a little bit out of the traditional. So this is you're watching the Marlene Cox Show, and make sure that you know that Wednesdays we're on Roku. Go to WBGR TV and go to Roku, or vice versa, but it's on Roku. And then also on Thursdays you can go to the Marlene Cox Show YouTube and look at the show, and you can follow us again. If you missed anything, go to Facebook. We'll have some basic reels on there, and it'll lead you to go to the YouTube channel. And make sure you subscribe to the channel. We got a lot of challenges and campaigns coming up this year, and I want you to be part of that. I want our guests to be part of that. So we get ready to go out on a commercial break, and we will be right back.
You are watching the Marlene Cox Show. And we're back. You're watching the Marlene Cox Show, a show about models for models.
Okay, so we are going to go ahead and go back into that conversation. And Valencia, some of the things as you and I got together and we were talking about doing some researching to make sure that we bring the best to our clients. And since we're saying we're going to take them away from the old century, the way men did it through tailors, or maybe some men just went to Sears and had a couple of suits on the line, or maybe you might have even went into was it Macy's or something like that. But now I'm finding that the guys, before we get into the designers, the famous designers, I'm finding that guys are going into H&M. H&M seems to be a big thing. Were you aware of that? I know the kids department was there, but I'm seeing even not just the young, cool guys, the 20, 25, 30. I'm seeing 50s, 55 and 60-year-old guys going into H&M because men are getting more into that comfortable look. They want to feel comfortable professionally, but still comfortable. So were you aware of that? The men going into the H&M groups, those different stores all over the country?
I was aware of the men, but not like the 50 and 60-year-olds. I was aware of that part, but that's good to know.
Yeah, but I'm not saying they're overwhelming, but what I've noticed depends on where I'm at in the country. Different parts of the country, because I don't care where I'm at, whatever city I'm in or out of the country, I'm always going to go into H&M. And I don't know, I just love H&M because each one of them, they all have the same, you love them too? You love them too? Yes. And I've been noticing, I'm seeing more men. First of all, when I'm observing, I'm they're just in here shopping for their kids or their grandkids. That's what I'm thinking. And then I start seeing them looking at the cool stuff on the racks for themselves. And I'm like, okay, now, because they don't want to be all stuffy. And, the way we do business today, just think about it. We're not, COVID changed everything. I mean, people aren't always wearing the ties and they're wearing their suits, but they're not always wearing the ties. And I'm noticing that they're wearing their, maybe their suit jacket, but they're going and get a pair of pants from H&M to be more relaxed. I've seen a lot of that. So, and it looks kind of good. It's kind of cool. And then they have the caring establishments, and those are made up of a lot of different small stores that we don't hear a lot about. Similar to I never knew there was a men's Gap, and as I was looking through that, so it's more of those kind of smaller stores. The Navy, what's that one? The Navy, the young people. Yeah, Old Navy stores. So they're made up of a lot of little teeny stores, and men's are going in there. But I'm gonna tell you something to be true. And I know we're only talking about men, but I visited Old Navy, and they got some cool things in there. They really do. They have some cool things in there. Yeah, they have some, and I noticed when you were talking about the Western, I'm noticing they have a lot of those bib jumpsuits in there for men and women, and I did see a lot of the Western bandanas, but not like the traditional Western. It had like an upgraded look that they're having in those particular stores, and of course that Levi's is another store that's trending, not just to young men and kids. It's also bringing some more fashion into that. And then I'm noticing also the big guys. You're seeing a lot of these stores are also catering to the big guys, the 2X, 3X, all those type of styles. So men can have a variety, they don't have to, sometimes, the big guys only have on, a lot of times in past fashion, you would only see them in maybe, I call them jogging clothes. What do you call them? You call them something else the other day when we were talking. Sweatpants, yeah. So that type of things, but they don't have to always wear that because they're making them more fashionable things in those brands. Nike is still going and good. It's not just the sneaker. Nike got a nice men's line of leisure clothes and workout clothes. So these stores are really catering to product. Their establishments are catering to the men. So they're doing a lot, and when we really think about it, we're getting ready to. So have you thought about this before, Valencia? As you have relatives or young people that you go, or older people. Are you finding that the men are being more relaxed in their clothing?
I think so. I know in work meetings, like when I'm at work, sometimes supervisors don't have suits on. They just have they might have a t-shirt on in the meeting. So it's I'm remote, so it's very relaxed now. So yeah, I don't see a whole lot of people wearing suits and very dressed up in the office anymore.
Yeah, and it's hard when you're used to doing that, trying to come into that relaxed mode. But people are doing it. They want you to be more comfortable. So that's what's happening. And you said in meetings, I just came back from Atlanta to a big, oh my God, it was a convention. It wasn't my convention. It was my husband. And I tell you, I remember the first day he went down to do his presentation to the board. He was suited up, tie. After that, he came back up, took that tie off, and I said, "What's going on?" He said, "Nobody got no tie." Everybody was relaxed, buttoned up the shirt unbuttoned up at the top, guys with the shirts. And I'm not a fan of the short sleeve shirts, but guys were wearing those type of things. But they look good. They were relaxed, but you could still there's a tweak of professionalism. You could tell that, it was a tweak of that. So nobody trying to. I even noticed in different worship houses. If you go and visit someone Sundays or Saturdays, whatever day you worship, I'm noticing that the presentation or the people who are presenting or teaching or preaching, they're really relaxed. Everywhere you go, it's just, they're very relaxed in their wear. So that makes it, you know, and these particular stores that we just talked about, H&M and Levi's and Nike and all, they're catering to those stores. And I would venture to say Nordstrom's and Macy's and all of them are started catering to those things for men. So, you know, so that's where I'm at with that. And I also, I don't know if you were aware of it, but this was something I thought was so interesting, just for you men to know that there have been men out there pioneering for the men in fashion for many, many years. Remember, we talked a little bit about that, Valencia. Let's start with Charles Frederick. And he was a pioneer of fashion design, and he was one of the founders of the Persian Courtier, and he was born in October 13, 1825. He made from 1825 to 1895. He was one of the beginnings of taking men's fashion globally. So, man, you've been out there, but you haven't been wanting to buy it. So designers said, well, they're not purchasing these things, so I'm not going to, they put a few things out there. But now that men are getting more relaxed into their wear and what they wear professionally. And then I've always related that to Valencia, and I think you do also, based on what career you're in. Because every career, you don't need to be suited up. I mean, engineers are a little bit more relaxed. Doctors are relaxed, I mean, think of some careers that men just...
Lawyers probably still dress up in a suit, I would think.
Yeah, I don't think they would go in the courtroom too relaxed. The judge might run them out of there. The judge might run them out of there. They come in there with royal colors on and different things. But you know something I have noticed, and I know this is for men, I've noticed that women are not just wearing dark colors into the courtroom anymore. I've noticed that to the point that it made me do one of these things, for that. So anything else that you would like to add to that as you thought about it, as we talked about those eras of men digging into fashion?
So one designer, a Black designer, passed away, but his name is Virgil Abloh, and he was born on September 30th, 1980. He passed away November 28th, 2021. But he was an American fashion designer and entrepreneur. He began his own line of luxury streetwear clothing called Pyrex Vision in 2012. And he became the chief executive officer of the Milan-based label Off-White, a fashion house that he founded in 2013. And he was also the artistic director of Louis Vuitton's menswear collection beginning in 2018. And he was given increased creative responsibilities across the Louis Vuitton brand in early 2021.
Wow. Now that was such a loss. It was such a loss. And I think that there again, not only are we just talking about fashion, we gave it, people were digging into this because there are so many opportunities for male in our industry. And I loved it when you said, because people think a lot of these designers just pop out the air, but a lot of them worked in other show houses, just as you said, that they worked in other show houses to get their craft and get known and to go out and put his own thing. But he was very, So is his line still continuing? His house is still going, or that I couldn't find any information. Yeah,
I'm not sure, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, because I kind of looked to find that. You beg your pardon?
So I think it could be going, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's okay. Any of our fashion people out there, you like fashion? Look him up. Tell him his name again, Valencia.
Virgil Abloh.
Look him up, guys. And send us a note when you go over to the Merlin Cox Show, when you go over to our YouTube channel, and send a note about him. We need to kind of keep these things going and about different designers who he was so young and he was such a talented person that went on. Did you get any more? I had mostly the norms. I was Michael Kors. We all know about him. He started out with the purses and the ladies wear, which I love I love his cuts. I love his lines. And I like how he continued those type of lines over to the men. They're not square, they're not round, they're just comfortable. They fit you very well. Did you find anyone else? I had him, and I also had him too. I believe the young man you just talked about. I had him also, and Tom Ford. And I think Tom Ford. The reason why I put Tom Ford because he led up that CDF association, and I'm not sure if it started out of France or started out of New York, where a lot of designers get together and they put their heads together to forecast down the road. So they're already forecasting what's going to happen in 2027. 2025 fashion basically is done. So, and then that's done. They're on 2026, 2027 down the road. And Paris is probably a little ahead of that. Paris has always been known for being ahead of everybody in a sense, but I think Milan and New York, when some incidents are catching up with them, are catching up with Paris. We're so global, and people are traveling back and forth from New York, Milan, Paris, Madrid. I mean, people are just traveling back and forth. It's not a big thing today. Flights. Sometimes those flights of Valencia are cheaper to fly overseas and go to Hawaii, which is right here in the States. It's expensive to fly to Hawaii. So they're doing all of that. And then I didn't get into a lot of the actors. And I know you had a few. Yeah.
Before you go into that, I think it's time for another break.
You're watching The Marlene Cox Show, a show about models for models.